Top to Worsfold helped bridge the gap. At the first change, the Eagles led by 4 points, but it should have been a greater margin. The tackling was a highlight, with goals hard to find, but it was Peter Matera threading the needle to break the drought.
Shoots. That's a great effort.
Dunstall flashed in for a rare touch, and the hard work in the clinches was taking its toll on some of the Hawks. With a 7-goal second term, the visitors led by 33 points. The Eagles opened a 40-point break when Kemp and Heady combined, and with their centre line dominating, the Hawks struggled to go forward. West Coast's relentless pressure was a telling factor, setting up easy goals. It became a formality, with the Eagles consistently winning the ball out of the middle, and with Dunstall injured, ran out easy winners by 82 points.
Few surprises in round 8 of the Rugby League. Canterbury had a good win over St George at Belmore on Friday night. The final score 22-12, while Alan McIndoe has vented his anger at being omitted from Queensland's State of Origin side by destroying a struggling Gold Coast outfit at Wollongong. He scored 5 tries in a 46-4 belting of the Seagulls.
It was a procession virtually from the start. On one wing was Rod Wishart wanting to prove his point to the New South Wales selectors who'd dumped him. On the other was McIndoe doing his best to embarrass the Queenslanders for having left him out. In the middle was a hapless Gold Coast, Herring picking up their only try of the match, and it was thanks to a lapse in concentration the Steelers were not about to repeat. After leading 18-4 at half-time, they ran unchecked in the second half, McIndoe picking up another 4 tries as the Steelers defended their place in the top 5.
And last man to finish it off is Kissel. Now he'll use McIndoe for 4. 4 tries to Alan McIndoe.
Nissan's Jim Richard.
Welcome back. Well, they were betting 6-4 against, so Keith Hillier would arrive here in one piece because he has been at Warrnambool for the weekend. Keith, you're glowing. I reckon you're back to winner somewhere.
I'm an old campaigner, Bruce. I know how to pace myself for the 3 days. It was a fantastic carnival down there, with the 11-year-old Commission Red making it back-to-back wins in the Grand Annual. It was a meeting, they had a lot of rain on the day, but it didn't mar the enjoyment of provincial Victoria's most exciting 3-day carnival.
It is a tremendous carnival. Talking of atmosphere and big events, and this is a really big event, they say it's the most exciting 2 minutes in sport. The Kentucky Derby or Derby was run this morning. A horse called Strike the Gold was successful. Keith, what we might do is have a look at the Derby. It's only been run a couple of hours ago. It was a terrific performance. The favourite was Fly So Free. He's got a shadow roll. He's sitting about 5th on the fence. He just fails to stay. But Strike the Gold comes with a sweeping run. Let's go to Churchill Downs in Kentucky for the last 4 or 5 furlongs of the Derby.
Mile in 46 2/5 seconds. It's not exceedingly fast. Chris McCarron has slowed down the pace on the front end, and he still leads it with Sea Cadet. 40-something, the long shot, part of the mutual field, up there in second, and now Corporate Report with a big move, and on the outside, Hansel is in gear. Main Minister is also charging up in the middle of the racetrack. Fly So Free bides his time 5th along the inside. Best Pal and Strike the Gold begins to roll on the outside. They're tightly packed as they move to the top of the stretch. Sea Cadet on the inside leads by a head. Fly So Free now moves quickly between horses. Strike the Gold is closing stoutly in the middle of the racetrack. Main Minister is right there, and down the stretch they come. Strike the Gold on the outside with Chris Antley taking command. Along the inside, Best Pal into the second spot. Main Minister is 3rd. Coming 70 yards to the finish and far away from the rail. Strike the Gold wins the Derby by a length and a half. Under the wire second was Best Pal. Then it was a photograph between the long shot Main Minister, and from far back, Green Alligator was in the photo for the show spot.
So some amazing scenes, as there always are at the Derby. I'd love to go there. You've been lucky enough?
No, I haven't, Bruce. They say that yesterday's field was a lot below normal standard. In fact, one sports writer called it the Sour 16. And I think the track was rain affected too, so maybe that might not be one of the vintage derbies, but for atmosphere it would be hard to top, wouldn't it?
It sure would. Well, Dinard was scratched a horse by Strawberry Road, who we know very well, and he was the early favourite. Had a couple of big races in England overnight, or not overnight. Mystico won overnight the 2,000 guineas for our English racing fans, and Charday had won the 1,000 guineas on Thursday for Al Maktoum, who owns at Talac and all those great horses. She's unbeaten. She's very good in the 1,000 guineas.
Yes.
So a lot happening there. We've got the English Derby coming up in a couple of weeks' time as well. So Strike the Gold, the winner. Let's go a little closer to home and Brisbane. Terrific field yesterday in this Robbins Cup. 8 horses, and they'd won more than $8 million between them.
Yes, and one trainer, Bruce McLaughlin, certainly had the key because he had St Jude and he had the top-class filly With Me.
Yeah, so let's go to Doomben. This weight for age race worth $100,000. St Jude, who did very well in the autumn in New South Wales, running up against all the top horses. He showed his versatility with a win at 1,200 metres.
Coming down the side, Tiny's Finito a bit deep just in front of With Me. Lightning Benders with them, then Don't Play St Jude, Vogue the Bullfighter, and Thrifty Reserve last of all. Onto the corner, 400 metres out. With Me with the advantage of the inside, leads narrowly on Lightning Bend and Tiny's Finito, 3 wide. St Jude just behind them, then Don't Play and Vogue. It's really on now, 250 metres out. With Me, she's kicked strongly. She's a half length in front of Lightning Bend. Tiny's Finito next on the outside, and St Jude is going for a run. There's not much room there. Lightning Bend in front, St Jude grabbed him. St Jude grabbed Lightning Bend and edged away to beat him a neck. It's St Jude first, Lightning Bend second. There's a great run.
And a pretty happy jockey. Doomben 10,000 in the Stradbroke now for St Jude. He's a good horse, isn't he?
Yes, maybe even the Castlemaine drops 3.5 kilos. That race is run in 2 weeks. A good horse and a top ride too, wasn't it? There was barely a gap.
Vogue finishing last?
Yes, the light of other days for sure, although the distance unsuitable, Bruce.
Yes, he's just lost that dash and he's never been quite as good that way anyway. What about in Melbourne yesterday with this horse, Crusade King? I was going to say Colin Hayes.
David.
David, yes.
Yes.
He's got 3 chances in the Adelaide Cup. This one, Water Boatman and also Frontier Boy.
Yes, yesterday bookmakers took risks against Crusader King. They feared that stepping up from 2,000 metres he was suspect as a stayer, but he's by Sir Tristram and he proved them wrong and punters cashed in. It was a great ride again also by Michael Clark to get the money on Crusade King.
OK, let's go to Flemington and see the closing stages of this event.
Fredemus just in front of on the outside now. River's Edge and Magi Star under pressure. Crusader King is now pulling out in plenty of time. Back in behind them came Best Endeavours, followed by Carowin. In the straight, 400 metres to go. Ideal Sentiment grabbed the lead. Crusader King, he's under the whip. Carowin joining in down the outside, followed by River's Edge. Now Crusader King has gained the split. He's knuckling down. He raced up to grab Ideal Sentiment. Here is No Buggles from well back starting to fly. At the 100, Crusader King in front. No Buggles on the outsiders trying to pick it up. Crusader King hanging on, and Crusader King has just got in from No Buggles. Ideal Sentiment third.
Well, that No Buggles, I think he's related to No Bugles, isn't it?
Yes, the same Quinella as their previous clash at Flemington.
So you got a fancy out of those 3 of the Hayes? Are they the horses you're looking at for the Cup?
I think Crusade King will continue to improve. He's stepping up nicely in distance. He suggests he'll run the distance, but there's a bit of water to go under the bridge yet. The West End Stakes next week in Adelaide will cast more light on it, Bruce.
Well, fair enough, Keith. On the same day as the Adelaide Cup, there's a $1 million 2-year-old race on the Gold Coast. Bold Promise will start favourite. Mick Dittman's going to fly back from Hong Kong to ride her. But this might be the horse she has to beat. Sade, successful yesterday in Sydney, freshened up after her great runs in the Champagne and the Sires. Let's see how she handled Marskin yesterday.
500 out and Astute led from Sade. Marskin tracking them into the straight, followed by Dancing Pump, who's under some pressure now, and Miss Snapper and Tether at the tail of the field as they turn the corner. Sade's rider hasn't flinched yet as she goes up to take the lead from Astute. Marskin, on the other hand, is immediately under the whip and having a struggle to get to Sade. Sade shot clear at the 200 mark over Marskin, who's not doing enough. Astute hanging on, and Dancing Pump on the fences, finishing on hard, but Sade must have freshened up beautifully since the Champagne Stakes, and she sprints to win easily. Sade beat Dancing Pump, Marskin third.
Well, the temptation must be to have a good 2-year-old to take it out and freshen it up for the spring, but when they're running for $1 million in May in the Gold Coast, the temptation's too great.
Why not? Well, she'd chased home Terce at her 2 previous starts, and she's a top quality, and she will give Bold Promise something to chase. In fact, may even challenge Bold Promise for favouritism, Bruce.
Speaking of temptation, you did spend a week at Warrnambool, as we heard, and the Grand Annual was run. Just before we see the Grand Annual, Mantelpiece won the Warrnambool Cup. He's a good horse, isn't he?
He's a very good horse. That was his 11th win from 22 starts, and I think Robbie Lang will set him aside now and aim at the Caulfield Cup, and I think he might be up to that too.
He can really sprint, he can accelerate, which is a sign of a good horse, isn't it?
Yes, and he equalled Dandy Andy's race record in winning the Cup. But all the focus of attention was on the Grand Annual.
Yes, it's a great race. 5,500 metres, 33 fences, more fences than any other race in the world, including the Grand National for Maintree. So let's have a look at some of the highlights. Commission read all the way in the 1991 version.
The first of the Alfred Road double, and Commission Red on top here, leading by 2 or 3 lengths. Second placing as they go into Briley now was the Tasmanian Slick Khan, about 4 or 5 to Just Arcale. 2.5 further back in the field. Then comes Oakley Jack over on the inside of Desperate Sweep, a length to Donny's Chance. Then Bourbon Boy over on the outside, desperate sweep, about 3 to Dunrow as they come to the Tozer Road double, and they swing here to the left. And here the leader is still Commission Red. Commission Red in front, leading by 4 or 5 to Slick Khan as they come to the man trap, about 15 away, third Donny's Chance. As they come down the straight again from desperate sweep and Just Kale. Here's the first of 3 in the straight, and the leader Commission Red for Jim Houlihan. Commission Red in front here for Willie Harnett, jumped at about 4 in front of Slick Khan. About 15 away, Bourbon Boy starting to close the gap, then Donny's Chance. Here's the Cox's Hill double coming up once again, and over the first it's Commission Red, 4 in front of Slick Khan. He propped that at Slick Khan. He jumped over the second like a tired horse. Bourbon Boy is third. He hasn't made any ground yet as they come to the one in Granders, and Commission Red, he's gone, Slick Khan. I fancied he might. He didn't jump those 2 on top of the hill very well at all. Commission Red comes to it, over it safely, and the Grand Annual for 1991 and 1990 is Commission Red's. Just Kale is third, Bourbon Boy holding down second, and a very tired Dunrow, but Willie Harnett waving the whip at Commission Red, and Commission Red proves a champ.
Well, he's certainly a champ at Warrnambool. It's a different race. I mean, you put Commission Red in at Flemington, he wouldn't get out of his own road early, yet he can lead that field all the way. Yes, it's a tortuous track. I drove to the course around the back, and some of those road jumps, doubles, Bruce. One obstacle is right on the road. You have to clear that, then you're on the road and virtually prepared to take off for the next. Frightening. How brave are the jockeys? Yes, there's a little story down there of Rags to Riches in reverse. You've heard of Vo Rogue and other horses bought for peanuts and won millions. A horse ran second last in a maiden on the Tuesday down there at 100 to 1 and was advertised in the next day's Warrnambool Standard for sale at $500. You didn't depart with any of your hard-earned, did you? No, I did not. I didn't think you would. Now, speaking of 500, there was a race last night at Albion Park in Brisbane worth $500,000, and an outstanding 2-year-old was successful. This is harness racing we're talking about. Son of Otara from Western Australia. Let's see how he ran. 157.8 for the distance.
Son of Otara leads 800 metres out. He's a length in front of Remo Gold and Wonder Spirit of Rep on the fence. Another length to Son of Fury, 1 out and 1 back, and then Gav Roche around Viking Tolliver. 2 to Our Romantic Walk from Fury's Law, Prominent Force, and 2 to Sammy Beard. 31.4 second section. Son of Otara's a length and a quarter clear at the 500 metres mark. Remo Gold's under pressure in second spot. Spirit of Ret's on the fence. Then 1.5 to Son of Fury, followed by Gav Roche, Viking Tolliver and Fury's Law, but the Campos opened up on Son of Otara, and past the 300 metres mark, Son of Otara shot away. He leads by 3 lengths to Spirit of Ret, then Remo Gold, Son of Fury and Gav Roche on the outside, but the West Aussie, Son of Otara, turns for home. The Campos driving him hard. Spirit of Ret's out after him. Son of Otara leads with 70 to go. Spirit of Ret's trying hard, but the West Aussie champs much too good, and Son of Otara's won. Son of Otara has beaten Spirit of Ret third.
Well, he's won 6 out of 9 and $320,000 and cost just $11,000. Bill Whittaker, a mate of yours and mine, owned the second horse and got $160,000 for running second. Got his phone number? I have, Keith. Now, Keith, remember that lunch I went to at your place? Yes. I enjoyed it that much. I'm going to shout you to dinner in the next week or two. I'll give you a ring. Oh, good idea. OK, thanks, Keith. So, are you coming back next Sunday? Oh, sure. Good idea. Thanks a lot. OK, we'll be back with more after this break.